figured out how to put us both on the phone. I don't know what the problem is. We've been working on this for a while. Let me knock this down a little bit here. Let's go over. Let's get a little bit more light to see us. Well, the nose knocks it off. No, it's the stuff on the right there. So there he is. You see him? So what's happening is I can't figure this out. If anybody can figure it out, let us know. Either way, we'd love to see. He definitely looks good there, doesn't he? You can see, there he is. There's my hole, and there he is. I mean, what are you going to do? I appreciate that. Oh, let me tell you, we're going to have to go.
Great.
Yeah, I'm beautiful. That's me. What a face. I'm waiting for the first one telling me I look like Mike, the pillow guy. I'm waiting for that to start again today. Okay. We always start slowly, so we got to start with that kind of stuff. But let's start right away with this guy, Mark Robinson.
Everybody's waiting to join.
Yeah, they're waiting. I
see people waiting.
They're waiting.
I'm trying to join too. How come I can't join?
I don't know. You got one thumbs up already. We'll start to, here they go. Here they come. Here we come. Look, let's get right into Mark Robinson right away, the guy in North Carolina. The problem, the guy running for governor in North Carolina, lieutenant governor, who ran around and now he's a black Nazi and he's on the black porn site and I don't know, he loves trans. He loves trans sex. And this is a guy who goes on and says, I hate trans, I hate this, I hate that, everything's bad, we got to do it all right. Big, strong guy running around doing all this kind of stuff. And he's a bigger liar than Trump. And we come back to the same problem, Dr. V. These guys just talk. Trump can get away with it. They can't. Vance is underneath Trump's umbrella. But listen to this guy, Robinson. He's lost. All of a sudden, CNN comes up with all this stuff on him. And all of a sudden, he's sitting there. It's a lie. It's a lie. Then he disappears. Where's his proof? He's got no proof. All this stuff. Thank you for the thumbs up. We love all of you. It's early, too. Stay with us. And Just an American Citizen, please subscribe. And Dr. V, what's your stuff? Dr. V.
Dr. V presents Joe Talk.
There it is. That's Joe presenting, Dr. V presenting Joe Talk. So, as we're going forward with this, you have this situation about going on. And Maria, I love Maria. Do I know about Tom Kolutz? I don't know Tom Kolutz. So the bottom line is with this guy Robinson is he gets on there and he lies. It's like a group. We like our MAGA friends. We all like our MAGA friends, Dr. V. The problem is that these other guys get on, and these are beyond MAGA. These are just out and out lying sacks of garbage. And this guy Robinson, who says he's a preacher or a priest or something, is out there lying through his ears, through his eyes, through his schnozola, through his mouth, through his tuchus, through everything, then goes on and lies again and says it isn't him. Then he disappears. What's going on? And this is the other thing I want to know. Trump. Didn't he say that this guy Robinson was Martin Luther King on steroids? Does he even know? Hi, Marie, we love you. Does he even know what's going on? Dan, this is Just an American Citizen and Dr. V. We're talking about politics right now. So does he even know what's going on? He sits there and he's like, all of a sudden Trump doesn't talk about this guy anymore because he just backs the most and absolutely craziest people out there. We're not talking about good people. You think this guy Robinson's a good person? He's like Vance. Vance isn't a good person. Let's talk about his vice president, Vance. When isn't the vice presidential debate coming up in like 8 days, Dr. V? But Vance comes on and admits, that's Dr. V back there, admits that he's lying when he makes up things because he doesn't like to hear. He says the mainstream media doesn't talk about what I want them to talk about. Therefore, I'm just going to make up stories. Isn't that a great move? What do you think, Dr. V? That really says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's so hypocritical. That's what's disappointing about this, is that they say one thing and they do something completely different.
Michael, I hope you have a mustache too. Yeah, but let me ask you, Dr. V, ask these people here, because Dr. V's running the comments, and thank you all for your comments. What is the reason that you like Donald Trump? Give me a real reason. And then Dr. V is in there with the comments and doing stuff. I'm trying to understand. What is it, Dr. V? What is good about this guy? He's nasty, he's a liar, he's trash, he's garbage. What?
A lot of white guys like him. And I think there's a lot of distress among a lot of people in this
Radium.
And they see that Trump is addressing those issues, and to some extent the Democrats have not addressed the issues. I mean, Pamela gets very passionate when she talks about abortion, but where's that kind of passion to deal with issues that are relevant for other Americans, particularly white males?
Well, look.
They've abandoned her.
You're right. Look at these comments, though, Dr. V.
Oh, okay.
And what these people are saying, they're great comments.
He's the best.
He's safe. He's the best.
Okay.
How does a guy like that make you feel safe? If he says he loves America, but he doesn't. Because if you want to make America great again, you don't love America. You think America's horrible. He says it. Listen to the words, the adjectives. Does he say what's on his mind? David, I could say what's on my mind, but does it mean it's right? Anybody can say what's on their mind, right, Dr. V? It doesn't matter.
Here's the thing. A lot of politicians say stuff that comes out of their mouth.
Kamita, go ahead.
It's that they're obviously lying. They're obviously just appealing to to get votes. And I think sometimes when people hear Trump, they know his brand is he is full of crap, and then he doesn't disappoint because he is full of crap. So in a certain sense, he's authentic because he's authentic to himself, but his self is a piece of crap.
Will you quit cussing, please? We don't do cusses here, Dr. V.
I had other words I could have said, so I'm trying to tone it down.
No, you could just say, it took us.
Okay.
He talks out of his tuchus. I'm with it. And I see these people, and I understand you're all saying, how does he make DACA? How does he make America great again? Thank you for the mustache. You like my mustache. There isn't much I can do. I love it. Dr. V, normally I get trouble. They call me Mike the Pillow Guy. Thank you for all the thumbs up. Thanks for them. Please subscribe to what?
Loves your face.
They don't love my face. They like my mustache, they said. I can't believe it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Show them your Orioles cap. Ask people if they like that or how you look.
No, I get it. I love the Orioles. We're not going to get into that. Let's get back to where we are for our comments here. Look, I thank you all for the mustache. Look, the bottom line is simple. No, I'm not going to take my shirt off. The bottom line is simple. We're taking an issue where we have a vice president and president of the United States, of the former president of the United States, absolutely lying and making up things because they say that mainstream media doesn't cover their issues, which are really lies about the Haitians. And let me ask you this. Who is the mainstream media? Fox is. More people watch Fox than watch CNN. I'm looking at you back there. CNN and MSNBC together. Look at their numbers. By far they do. So that's the mainstream media. Fox is the mainstream media. Fox talks about this stuff all the time. But we got liars as a former president and a vice president. You want to talk about a flip-flopper? You ever read his book? Hillbilly Elegy? He called Trump America's Nazi, America's Hitler, right? So we sit here, and these are the guys, they'll sit here and say one thing, and then you guys are all saying, we love Trump. Trump tells the real. He isn't too real. Fox is too liberal, Michael Quinn says.
Hey, Vance has changed his name a couple times.
Yeah.
How much flip-flopping can you get?
I don't know what he is. But he sits there, he's got a problem. He talks about eating cats. So if you eat the cats, how are the childless mothers going to have any animal to be with? Because if they eat all the cats, there's not going to be any cats for the childless mothers to have. The bottom line is, what is it beyond? Why do you like the love? Hey, blast, my blood pressure is great, and I'm not upset. I just love this stuff. And that's why I come on here and talk. And that's why I come back to this point all the time, too. I don't care if you disagree with me. I say right on. He wears more makeup than Kamala does. He sure does. The Trump shit, all that orange he puts on there. So, but I don't care. I get excited. I get emotional because I love our country. Because this is the only country you can do this in. You think you can get away with this? Maybe in Britain, maybe in France. I don't know. I know here you can get away with it and say what you want to say and lay it out there. But it is a crazy time, Blast. And let me tell you, Debbie, he doesn't stand up for anybody. Donald Trump stands up for Donald Trump. Let's get this straight. Donald Trump only cares. You see him standing up for Robinson now? Do you hear him standing up for anybody who stood up for him before who got in trouble? Of course not. Only after they go to jail and after he says he'll get them out because they stood up for him when they tried to take over the Capitol and set aside the election. Let's go for it all the way. Yeah, I'd rather have Harrison Walsh. I am. Let me tell you how he changed the vast shades of RFK Jr. RFK Jr. is lost. This is the guy who took a dead carcass, a dead bear cub carcass, and took it up to Central Park because he was going to eat it and left it there because he went to a steak place and said instead, RFK Jr., woo, I'm sure he'd be fun to have dinner with, but he's beyond weird. He's like really gone. So we have that, and then Dan, I don't know what you're talking about there. Debbie, and then you listen, but listen to him. You can't. Oh, here we go, Dan. Jews supporting Harris. Look, that's the stick.
The Middle East.
No, but they're talking about why don't Jews support Trump? That's the same old Trump jive. And please give us more thumbs ups and subscribe. Just American Citizen and Dr. V. Joe Speaks. Bottom line is simple. This Jewish thing is like sickness. Think how sick Trump is, okay? Camila, you're right. Camila, you're right. They don't care about you, Debbie. Think about how sick Trump is. He sits there, he goes, and this is what some of you are saying, well, if a Jew doesn't vote for Trump, then it's like they're anti-American or they're anti-Jew. And I'm sitting here, I go, once again, this is all the breakup. Everybody tries to break up the groups. Understand what's going on. This was attributed to Ben Franklin, though they say he never really said it, but it says it all. We either stand together or we stand alone. If you let Trump split us up and break this country apart, which is what he's doing, and I think most of the MAGA people are okay. The problem is the MAGA Bund, the crazies who are there. If you let Trump advance, just try to break us up, then what good is it? We got to stand together. And why do we have to stand together? Because this country is at war. This country is at war right now. I understand. Well, I like Taylor Swift. What's wrong with that? I say right on. Oprah gave us Kamala. I don't know. You guys are just having a good time. I'm sorry. Well, I don't know about the border. I'm ranting. I'm always ranting, Uncle Andy. I love to rant. What good? Let me ask you, Dr. V. What good's being on here if you can't rant, right? Am I missing? I'm not cussing people out. I'm not calling people names. I'm not saying anything other than what I believe, except for Trump. And there I say it straight on. But here we go. And it's just, you have to love it. You have to believe in it. Where else can you do it? What a great country. Either way, I love this country, but hey, the MAGA Bund. What do you think, Dr. V? The MAGA Bund is...
This is a great place for people who love Trump, who don't like
Blast.
Trump, get together and discuss some of these issues in a polite way. So I am really interested to hear why people like Trump, and it's clear that some people believe he stands up for them, that he understands them, that he's on their side. And we could argue that really that's just
RD.
All he cares about is himself. But on the other hand, people feel that, and they're not feeling it necessarily from the Democrats. And so that's an issue that I think has to be addressed.
I'm with you on it. Dan, I can't agree, but I appreciate all your comments, and I appreciate everybody's comments. Pedro, I don't know where Pedro's running for. Pedro ain't running here where I live. I don't think he's running in Pennsylvania either, so we can't vote for you, Pedro. I mean, what are you talking about here? Right on a quarry. What foreign? There is no foreign invasion. There isn't a foreign invasion here. It's craziness. There are a lot of illegal aliens got over the border. Okay, now we got to deal with them. They're here. We got to deal with a lot of people. We got to make sure we take care of the gangs, the minorities of those who are so bad. We got to take care of them and clean them up and get it taken care of. And those are real issues. And we shouldn't put it off, Dr. V. People put it off. But immigrants, Bring them in. They're here. Make them, let's find a way to start talking about making them American citizens, okay? How can the DACAs not be American citizens? How can how can those who have been living here who are called illegal, who have been paying Social Security, paying taxes, paying everything, how can we not find a way to make them Americans? What about all those who've been in line waiting to be Americans? What's taken all the years to do that? What takes, man, they'll pass the test that most Americans can't pass just to be an American. So I'm all the way with this. Why? We just need to just start to come together and bring this thing together and understand who we are and where our strength is. And then we deal with those who are here that that you want to call quote unquote illegal, haven't been here for a while, because either that or you're going to put them all in pens and you're going to send them out. How are we sending out millions of people? You think people are going to put up with that in this country? Not in America. We all know it was your grandfather that came here or grandmother. It was your great-grandfather or grandmother. Whoever it was, they came here. This is your country. We got a right to live here. We all do. The great thing about this country is we believe in an idea. We believe in the Bill of Rights. We didn't have to be born here to be an American. You could become an American, but to believe in the Bill of Rights, nobody else has that in the rest of the world. So people come here and want that. We have it. We love it. We should enjoy it. We are using it. Yeah, emotion. Yeah, you're on me about it. No, I'm an invasion. I don't know what's going on with all this stuff. Dan, I don't preach a civil war. That's the last thing. I don't think we're at a civil war. I think that we got Trump sitting there trying to put us into a position where we are in one, Trump and J.D. Vance, because they don't like what the quote unquote mainstream media says. It doesn't say what they want them to say. Now, let's get to the big problem, if I may, because everybody talks about all that stuff. America's in World War III. We've been talking about this for how long have I been talking about it, Miss Dr. V?
At least
2 years. We got to look at what's going on. We've got a problem here. We've got a problem. We are being attacked literally by Russia, China, Iran, North Korea. We've got South America coming up. You've got Venezuela. You got Maduro. I don't know why they tried to make a deal with this guy. I don't know why we let Chevron make all that money down there. Let the Chinese come over and try to get it. See how easy it is to move it around. We can make trouble down there. Problem is, we are being surrounded. We have the Quad, but we're not doing that much for the Quad. We're letting Ukraine get smashed by Russia. Why aren't we letting Ukraine use the long-range missiles? And then look what's going on in the Mideast. If you listen to it, everything they talk about on TV and the radio, and it's we hate Israel, we hate Israel. You hear it from Hezbollah and Hamas, and then, of course, the other side. But what you don't hear is this. Down with America. That's what they all say in the Middle East. There's only one country that doesn't say that in the Middle East on the Arab Street. There's only one country. And remember that when you deal with this kind of stuff. So when you're listening to this, we are under major heat. We've got to get prepared where it's getting late. It takes us years to build a ship. Maybe ships aren't the answer anymore. Maybe we need lots of drones and stuff. Maybe we have to change things. But we've got to start looking at this because we are under attack, Dr. V. And to all of you, we are, right? Thank Trump for being under this kind of attack. And this is where Nigel, I'm not lying. It's the real. What am I saying that's wrong? Ain't nothing wrong. Maybe you're not talking to me. I don't know. But we are under attack, and we've got to come together to start dealing with it and realize that we've got a real problem. The old guys like us, we lived with this in the Cold War. This is not a Cold War. This is the beginning of a hot war. Dr. V, take it.
Yeah, it's interesting. We're not talking about this issue in the campaign. We're concerned about the cats and that sort of stuff, but we're not talking about a very important issue, which is how are we going to deal with this threat? Now, my understanding is that people who support Trump think, well, he's a strong leader, so he's going to come in and settle things because people are going to respect him and respect America. But as I see it, it looks like he's just trying to appease.
Debbie, we love you. Let me, if I may. Debbie, we love you. Thank you for coming. Keep going, Dr. V.
Yeah, so he's just trying to appease them. So that's not the way to stop them. So somehow the way to stop them is to come together as a country And one of the things I'm concerned about the MAGA movement is it's not about coming together. It's about us versus them. And the concern that other people are getting more attention than they are. You know, and I know a lot of MAGA people, and I think they're good people, good Christian people. But if you read the Bible that they're holding up, that they're buying, it says about helping your neighbor. It's talking about helping people who are in a one down position, people who are vulnerable, who need our support. That's the Christian way of dealing with stuff, not this national Christian.
Guillermo's with us.
What's that?
Guillermo came in.
Oh, hi.
Guillermo Lopez, we love you.
Okay. A couple of weeks.
Yeah, keep going. I'm sorry.
That's great. So we need to come together and not be so hypocritical, not be so judgmental, but to care for each other and work together to solve some really critical issues. Our enemies want us divided, and they're using all kinds of different strategies to divide us as a country, and that is going to bring us down. That's our primary weakness right now, is not working together to solve these issues.
Right.
Hopefully on these Sundays, when we get together, there's going to be people with a lot of different views, and I respect that you have different views, but here's a forum where we can work on some things rationally and work on them together. And that's what this program is all about, right, Mark?
That sure is. And Kim, this republic versus democracy argument is just a canard. We are a country run hopefully by the people, and that's the way it's supposed to be. You can call it whatever you want to call it. The founders set it up in some way to try to keep the people out of it, so we didn't vote in the Senate, and we had no real direct, I mean, it was just, so really the elites would run everything back then because they were afraid of the people, but who cares? Republic, democracy, we're not an autocracy. We're not a dictatorship. We're not a socialist republic. That's what's so important, and that's what's so great about what we are here. But you say what you say, you do what you want to do, and you believe it. But guys, quit fighting with everybody. It doesn't matter, because hey, I like that movie. RD, I'm with that, and we said it all the time. If you don't like it here, you can go somewhere else. Isn't that right, Dr. V? What's so great is the world is open. You get on a plane, you go somewhere. You want to go to Russia, you get put in jail and you'll die. You'll go to the gulag. You want to go to China, we'll never see you again. You want to be a Uyghur, we'll never see you again. You want to go to Cuba, great. You'll really be living great down there. You want to go down to Venezuela and have Maduro kill you or whatever? Yeah, you might as well go there. Those are great countries to go to. What do you think, Dr. V? They're wide open. They love to have Americans come down there. See how good it is.
What other country do you have this kind of freedom? It's you can start off from very modest beginnings and become very successful. And that's what makes this country so great, that if you're willing to work hard and, come up with some good creative ideas, you can market those ideas, you can make a lot of money if that's what you want to do. You'll have the option of speaking freely. You have the option of worshiping as you please. These are not freedoms that you can enjoy in other countries.
And Kim, don't drive an electric car.
We don't want that. We don't want that here.
No. And Kim, if you don't want to drive an electric car, don't drive an electric car. There are lots of cars out there that aren't electric, so it's the marketplace. The market does what it does. They're calling the side docs to start with the Mike Lindell thing again. Look, I own a MyPillow years ago when I first saw him. I thought he was great on TV, but then you realize he's not you may think I'm crazy, but I ain't a loon like he is. This is a guy who made zillions and throws it all away on some loony ideas that make absolutely no sense. But I think I got a better mustache than Mike Lindell has. What do you think?
Thank you.
It's a better mustache. So,
100% more sense too.
Thank you. And Indonesia, we love you. Thanks for checking in on us. So here we go. And who's trying to make anything mandatory? I don't understand what everybody wants. Democrats are going to force you. No, they're not, Kim. You get the car you want to get. It's really easy.
We're drilling more oil now than we ever have.
Right, and they're closing up natural gas. Because there's so much natural gas on the market, it's out there. It's just bringing down the price. things are good here. We're doing okay. Really? These guys haven't been out since COVID. Augustus, I don't think you're talking about us, I hope, been out there like crazy. So the bottom line is, here we go, we're rocking, but we're at war. I don't want to get pulled off of it. I love the comments. I'm sorry, but looking at the comments, I love your comments. They love the stash. What can I do? I wish I had hair there. You know what I'm saying? At least I got some hair and some color. I can't complain. So we got that, but let's get back to that problem. We are at war right now, and we've got to start looking at each other as one and say, how are we going to take care of this? How are we going to be ready? Listen, read, see what's going on. Everybody is ignoring this. We are not prepared for a major attack. We are not prepared to take care of what we've got to take care of defensively. Our plans are not thinking out in the future. We're thinking in the past. We're not thinking the way it should have been. You know, you all talk about the green energy. Dr. V hears me say it all the time. How can we not harness the sun? Without the sun, there is no planet. Without the sun, there is no plants. Without the sun, there is no you and me. We should be able to harness that, get it into small batteries. We can do things with that power that would be incredible, whether it be powering houses or for defense. But there are things we could be doing, and we're not doing it. We're not looking forward. We're looking back. And that's why I get so worked up. And that's why Dr. V for 53 years has put up with me. I don't know any other reason he would have put up with me, but that's why it's been going on. And I don't know who's what all these lies are. Russia's horrible. Russia, come on. You go there, you're in jail. I'm sorry, wrong word. The gulag. Most of you don't know what a gulag is, but essentially it's a swampland of just death. That's all it is. And you go there, that's what you want to be? Go there. I haven't got time, but we are moving. Rashid, I don't know who's going down sooner or later. I don't know what he's talking. Have you been following that, Dr. V? Rashid L said somebody's going down. Look, she cares about lots of stuff. Carmita, I agree. I think Trump's running just to stay out of jail, but nobody is talking about our defense, our problem, where we are. Kim, I'm not wrong, but thank you. You can say whatever. You don't have to apologize. So, Camp, Trump, question mark? Psh, no way. Look, let's be straight about all this. Why are they ever been in? I'm just curious if anybody knows why are the Jews been kicked out of every country they've ever been in. Dan, it's because Dan, it's called prejudice and bias. They've been around for over 2,000 years, the Jews. It's called prejudice and bias. It's called jealousy. It's called just being schmoes, okay? You can say the same story about others who've been thrown out of countries for years. Leave it alone. Dan, come on, wake up. It's just not even good. I just don't understand. So here we go. No, Kim, there is no socialism. You know, the crazy thing is you talk socialism. Socialism is what? Read Animal Farm. Have you ever read Animal Farm? Okay? Read Animal Farm. You want to know about socialism? Read Animal Farm. Come back to this show next week at this time and tell me how we are socialists. That's the socialism argument right there. Orwell, Animal Farm. Feel free to read it. Now, let's get back to our defense. What question? Did you see Prophet's question, Dr. V?
Oh, yeah.
What is his question? I don't know what it is. Prophet, I'm not answering because I'm
ask your question again. I lost it.
Right, I can't follow it all. It's very tough. Guillermo, no, it's up to us. In my area, it's mail-in. What I like to do, though, Guillermo's question about voting, I get it mailed to me. I fill it out, and then I take it to the precinct. I just like to do it that way. I don't like to wait in line. But I take it, and I actually take it to the precinct and drop it off. So I like doing it that way. But I've been voting my whole life. Voting is so exciting. It makes I get so excited to actually be able to vote. I remember my first vote. Who's your first vote for? Dr. V, you remember?
Yeah.
Who was it?
George McGovern.
George McGovern. I had a sticker on the back of my car that said, "Don't blame me, I voted for McGovern." I mean, you're talking so long ago. But voting is so much fun,
we
isn't
had
it?
a mock convention at college.
We sure did. Yeah, Ed Muskie was up, and who were some? I don't even remember.
Shirley Chisholm was even running.
Shirley Chisholm. Wow. So that's what it's exciting. Think about it. You can talk about all this. And guys, give us thumbs up. Give us hearts and please subscribe. Just American Citizen, Dr. V, Joe Talks. And here we go. You voted for Bush Jr. your first vote? You're a little younger than we are. Right on, but you had every right to do it, RD. Let me tell you, I voted for Bush Jr. the second time. I didn't the first. Of course, I voted for Al. I thought Al Gore would have been a hell of a president. What about you, Dr. V? What did you do?
Same thing.
You did the same? You voted for Bush in 84? I'm sorry, in 2004 you voted for Bush Jr.?
Yeah.
Just like me? Wow. I knew I loved this guy. I knew I loved this guy. Obama. And then here. And then I can tell you all of them. I mean, you all want to know? I'm glad to lay it out to you. McGovern, Carter, Reagan, Bush Sr., Clinton, Gore, Bush Jr., and then Obama, and Biden. Gosh, that's easy. So you guys know where we stand with all that. But we encourage you guys to put your stuff out there. Just don't be mean to others. But that's what makes it so exciting. So exciting. How's Trump more racist? RD, you asked that. You're asking Carmina. Let me give you the answer. He's more racist because he says, if you're a Jew and you don't vote for me, it's all your fault. You lose, and it's your problem, and you're not even a Jew. That's called racism. Put in there black. Put in there Indian. Indian, Southeast Asia. Put in there, Native American. Put in there it's all the same. You can't talk that way. It doesn't work. Trump, self-made American gangster. Camp Mike, double thumbs up to you, Camp Mike. Give it back, baby. What do you say, Dr. V? I love that. Either way, I just said, here we go. We're racking, but I still don't see. Do you see anybody talking? I did vote for Carter, Dan, twice. Mm-hmm. And he's still living. Let me ask you, do you see anybody talking about our American defense here? Have you seen anything, Dr. V?
No one cares. No one cares about it.
What's going on?
It's not in the campaign. It doesn't get you clicks. And people are ignoring it. It's a shame because that's going to be the probably most important issue in the future, but it doesn't get people interested. It
does. It's sad, but you got to keep your eyes open. We're telling you. Maybe that's why you come to us. I hope it is. Look at what's going on outside in foreign affairs. And it's all burning American flags. We hate America. We're after America. And our friends are afraid that we are backing down. Our friends are afraid that we're moving back. You don't have to be a warmonger to know that you got to have a strong defense. You don't have to be a warmonger to know that you see how these people around you have been coming in. Putin and Xi have been doing their thing for all these years. And what did we have? We had love letters between the Young Un and Trump. And did you see Young Un? Did you see this, Dr. V? He killed like 30 of his people, of his leader, of his bureaucrats, because they had this big flood in North Korea. So he killed like 30 guys. He said, "Hey, you did a horrible job. I'm going to kill you."
Yeah.
But the Young Un, good guy in North Korea. Trump's guy. They have love letters. They go back. You ever read one of those love letters? Did you ever write a love letter, Dr. V?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Did you ever
not to a guy, not to a world leader?
Did you ever write one to a killer like this guy, a murderer, a thug, a gangster? I mean, that's what we have. Go ahead.
Trump's fascination with dictators is just puzzling.
I'm with you. I'm totally.
But let me ask you this one. Somebody had a question in the chat about the Abraham Accords. What did you think about the Abraham Accords? Does Trump deserve some credit for that one?
Some, but he didn't do what had to be done, and that's the problem. He didn't deal with the Palestinian issue. He just didn't.
Can you just sort of recap what it is, so for people who don't remember it, and why it didn't go far enough?
What you have is we've had agreements between Israel and other countries, okay? The problem you've got is you can't ignore the Palestinian issue. It's been there since Israel's been there. You got to deal with it since before Israel's been there. You've got all these people. Now it's a totally different ball game with the destruction and killing and the war going on there. But you got to do something. You have all these people living there. You got to deal, and you can't just ignore them. So what happened was exactly, although it wasn't all Trump, a lot of it had to do with Netanyahu. They sat there and they waited, and Hamas said, if you're not going to deal with us, we're coming after you. And that's what they did. And understand where Netanyahu was in on that. He was letting Qatar pay Hamas billions of dollars so they could build their tunnels underneath and be able to get ready for this and be able to send over their called troops, whatever they were, they're terrorists, to kill people, rape them, and destroy them. And now we just have this thing going on and on and on and on. You know, Dr. Vita, me, you just look at it. The Mideast has been this cauldron. It's like a black hole of violence for 2,000 years almost. It just doesn't go away, and it's so hard. It's almost impossible to make a deal there. It just looks like, this is what we've been talking about. Please go on to Just an American Citizen. I've got so many videos up for the last year and a half talking about this, 2 years. There's no getting away from this. There is a major war. It's getting bigger and bigger. Now, let's look at it for these 3 months. May I do it, Dr. V? You've got our election in November. You've got Netanyahu thinking, how can I control and do what I need to do before that election? And how can I help Trump? That's where I think Netanyahu's going, but he's more worried about himself. Yeah. So he's sitting there and he goes, I've got 2 to 3 months to do what I need to do. I know Biden's going to back me. I know we've got all the American Navy sitting out there and American military ready to help me. I'm going to make my move. And that's what I see him doing, and figuring he's got in his mind, he's got nothing to lose except more lives gone. But the problem you've got is, if you're looking at it, you have 50, 70 some thousand people who got moved out of northern Israel and had to move out of that whole area there, southern Lebanon, and now you have just missiles going back and forth. You look at Gaza, you have all that stuff going on there, and then you just got Iran just trying to do their thing. But I'll tell you this, I don't want to hear this, Dr. V. You may disagree with me. Nothing immoral about what Israel did blowing up those peepers. If you look at those things blowing up, other people around didn't get hurt. It was the people there, and those are Hezbollah. They're terrorists. They're the ones who want to kill people.
Well, Mark,
go ahead.
I don't think anybody's against targeted aggression. If this is a prelude to a bigger war where innocent people get killed, I think that's where some people have an issue. And what
war doesn't innocent people get killed? I'm just saying, you say that. I don't know one war that innocent people don't get killed, Dr. V. And that, to me, that's not an argument. I'm with you. Go ahead. Everything else you're saying is okay, but innocent people always get killed in wars. I mean, it's just reality. Run with it, Dr. V. I'm sorry.
I think when you kill innocent people, you're just sowing the seeds for the next war. That's the problem. Some country is going to have to say, look, I'm going to be the bigger person here. I'm going to look at the long-term perspective and try and figure out a solution that it not only helps win the current war, but helps prevent the next one. And no one is doing that. No one is doing that. No side is doing that. And that's why both sides can point the finger to the other party and say, it's your fault. I'm justified in my anger. I'm justified in doing all kinds of terrible things.
But they've been doing it for 2,000 years.
Says, I'm not going to.
Okay, great.
I'm not going to just retaliate for the past. I'm going to look to the future.
Well, I think that's great.
I don't see any hearts on that, but
I think that's great. But it's not going to work right now because they are looking for war. They are looking for war.
When is it going to work?
It's going to work when people have gotten exhausted and they don't want to fight anymore. But you're talking 2,000 years. 2,000 years.
When are people going to get exhausted?
Well, not today. Because we're not exhausted. We argue with each other here. We have our own issues, right? Some people don't even want to talk about it. But the bottom line is nobody's going to get exhausted because there's this anger in the world. There's this hatred in the world. There's just this black whatever. It just takes over the world. People aren't happy. It's more than inflation. It's more than all this. Just people don't want to be happy. They're not happy. It's just so vicious out there, and it's just so horrible, and you're not going to stop this. And sometimes it's just got to blow. And I think I don't want it to happen. The only good thing I think, hopefully, it's going to happen, Dr. V. Haven't I been saying it? And it's been getting bigger.
But I want to prevent it.
How are you going to prevent it? Why aren't you going to fly out there and stop it?
I don't know. That's what we have to figure out. That's why I want to get together with people who have different views so we can figure out what we can do to to stop this.
Well-
Because you're right, we're on a really bad trajectory right now.
Right. That's my only point. I'm not taking a position as to that, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but what I'm saying is, how do you stop hate? And then the hate is so major now, it's so vicious, and it's just not just them. You're talking 2,000 years of hate there, and then you have all this stuff that comes on. The rest of just we have our own hate in this country. We hate each other. We live, compared to the Middle East, we live great. I mean, whew, and yet we hate, people want to hate each other, not our commenters who are doing a whole lot better. I'm so happy. I even think Dan calmed down a little. So that's where we are with this, and it's so we have to come together to make it happen, because if we don't, then how can we show somebody else? Think about it. You have to lead by example, don't you, Dr. V?
There you go.
You
Right.
got to lead by example, and until we lead, I'm sorry, go ahead. Am I wrong? You're going with that?
No, you're absolutely right. And I'm going to ask the people who are chatting with us now, how do we solve this issue? And I always believed in solving hate with, it sounds corny, with love, but what I mean by that is by understanding that people want to live their lives. They want to have connections. They want to have a purpose in life. They want to live a good life. That's fundamentally what most people want to do. And they hate when they feel threatened, or when they feel that their stuff is being taken away from them, or there's limited resources. That's when people hate.
Hold on, if I may, Aristotle, I think you're missing something here. Do you see what Aristotle's saying?
No, I'm sorry.
I just want to jump into Aristotle, if I may.
It's ridiculous. The word is a religious words about who's God accepts them.
Right.
I hear about you know what? When I hear about Jews and Muslims, there's a whole lot more in common than you might think. That they don't work on Saturdays. They don't eat pork. They're descendants from what? Abraham, right? Isn't that right, Mark?
That's what they say. I wasn't there.
I wasn't there, yes. But, you had the Muslims who descended from one kid of Abraham, and you had the Jews who descended from another kid of Abraham, and it's like they're fighting this family battle, this family war. It's like the Hatfield and McCoys, that they come from the same Genesis, but they're upset with each other.
Yeah, I know, but let me ask you something, Dr. V. Let me get back to my point. Why can't we get together? And that's what I'm talking, that's what Aristotle's missing. To me, the issue is, how can we say to the world, you should be good and everybody should get along, when we're busy screaming at ourselves and going at it? Now look, democracy, or a republic, as somebody like to say there, leads to disagreement, but we get along. If we don't show the world that we're getting along, we can't tell the world to get along. And that's the problem. And we got to get along to protect ourselves, so we can then say, here, we can maybe lead by example at that time. It's just what it is.
You root for the Orioles, I root for the Phillies, but we love baseball. We love the competition. We might give each other crap now and then, but we're still really on the same side, which is that we love the sport. And the same thing with this country. You might be on different sides, but we still fundamentally love the country, and we want the country to do well. It's when you root for the country to do poorly, so you can come in and say, they're the bad guys and we're the good guys, that's not healthy for our country. And sometimes I think that's what bothers me about Trump more than anything, is that he's almost rooting for the country to do poorly so that he can take power. And that's what I don't care for. That's what I don't like, because we are in this together, and we can work together to solve some of these issues, but we're going to weaken ourselves by separating each other, by not listening to each other, by not respecting each other. Okay. So that's what we have to turn around.
I'm with you. Can I say something to Tariq? Tariq, the point I think you're missing where we go with this is, you got to have friends. If you don't stand with your friends, then your friends aren't going to stand with you. Remember, I said we either stand together or we stand alone. And I'm not just talking about friends in America. I'm talking about countries that are our friends. If we don't stand together, we've got a problem with our friends. We have to help our friends, just like we need our friends to help us when we have problems. Yes. So you can't just sit there and go, oh, we're not helping them, we're not giving them money, we're giving them money to ourselves. Really? We want them to trade with us. We want them to buy our stuff. We want to be able to buy some of their stuff. We want to be able to be buddies and be able to jump by, to fly over and see their country and be friends with them. That's all part of this. You can't just do it. Hey, Tariq, how many more wars? I don't know. My whole life there's been wars, and I just think it's going to go on and on until people wake up, and that's my point. We have to start coming together in here before we can tell the rest of the world not to do it. Meanwhile, they're after us because we've got what they want, Tariq. The right to speak, the right to have a Bill of Rights, the right to go down and buy something, the right to be able to watch TV, the right to cheer for the Ravens even if they don't look that good this year, the right to be able to do it. That's what people want. And that's what's great here. And they want to take it from us. And that's what we have to protect from. We just have to. There's no getting away from it because if we don't, nobody's going to do it for us. We stand together or we stand alone. Go ahead, Dr. V.
Yeah, I mean, in history, there's been a couple examples where after a war, the victorious countries went in and tried to rebuild the countries that they were fighting, like with the Marshall Plan after World War II.
That was a revolution. Nobody did that before.
Yeah,
remember, Dr. V.
Didn't do that, and then it sowed the seeds for the next war.
Right, World War I, exactly.
Perfect example of how to do it. After the Civil War,
peace through strength.
Lincoln had a plan to help the southern states get it together again. And, unfortunately he was assassinated. It didn't happen. And now we're still fighting many of the problems that were a result of the Civil War. And so the way to solve the issue is you have to be bigger.
Time out. I got to stop you. Dr. V. Dr. V, I got to stop you here. You see Dan Russell? I can sing Kumbaya with an American Muslim. Dan, he's an American or she's an American. Of course I can sing Kumbaya with them. It doesn't matter if they're Muslim, if they're Hindu, if they're Jewish. I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter. If you're American, that's the point. We're just an American citizen here. We come together, we make it happen. Quit separating us, Dan. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I work with people who support Trump. I'm friends with them. I play fantasy football with them. And they are good people. They have the same needs and desires that I have. And we do come together to enjoy our sports together, to enjoy interacting with each other. It doesn't mean we don't needle each other. It doesn't mean we don't criticize each other. But fundamentally, I like the guy. Fundamentally, we're on the same team. We're not enemies. And that's how we have to see things in this country. It's easy to just be angry, to seek revenge. It's easy to just blame all your issues on the other
Joe,
person.
Wet likes you. I like the dude in the back. Wet Shark likes it.
Give me a thumbs up already.
Give us a thumbs up.
But I think this is how we get out of this mess right now. And it may not get me clicks on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, but this is what I really believe, and this is what's going to help us in the long run, and that's how we have to look at things. So I'm sorry for ranting myself.
Look at Rant. He liked you. What can I say? Wet Short liked you. Wet Short, give us thumbs up, will you? And please subscribe to Just an American Citizen and Dr. V. Joe Speaks. Joe Speaks or Joe Talks?
Joe Talks.
Joe Talks. So I got to make sure I got that. He made a little change with that. And that's one other thing I want to hit here. I keep hearing, I'm happy some people are talking foreign policy. Let's get Stanley. Let's get something straight about the empire. American empire. We've done a lot of bad things. Lots of them over the years. But we try to focus on making it better. We try to focus on changing what we do to be better. When you look at the revolution of what America did after World War II, we rebuilt, we gave the money to help Europe rebuild. That had never happened before. In World War I, after the Germans lost, they were smashed. People demanded money. The victors demanded everything, took everything, and they were mad, and they never came back. But it changed here. This wasn't an empire. America helped rebuild Europe. That's great. That's a blessing. We helped do that. We helped rebuild Japan. We helped rebuild South Korea. That's a blessing. That's what's great. Yeah, we do a lot of bad things, but hey, we trade with them. We're friends with them. We get along with them. What's wrong? And most of them are basically democracies. I say right on. That is not an empire. That's a good country that knows that it makes lots of horrible mistakes and has made them, but is constantly trying to get better. That's why I love our country. That's why I love our country. Thumbs up, I'm sorry, to America. Dr. V, you got anything else to say?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to address Cutthroat a little bit. He says we need to dominate the world again. I don't think we need to dominate the world again.
I don't think we ever did.
Friends, don't you want, in your life, do you want to dominate the people around you, or do you want colleagues? Do you want people to hang out with? People to watch the ball games with? You want people doing that just because they fear you or because they want to be with you? And if that's how you want your relationships to be, that's how the country needs to be. That people want to be with us, that they respect us, they're our friends, they're our allies. If we're hurting, they're there for us. If they're hurting, we're there for them. The world could be a lot better. And I'm a little bit fearful that the tilt right now is not to come together. It is to have this World War III, and we need to bring it back. For the world, we need to bring it back in the country. And if it's happening in your own family, you need to bring it back within your own family. I mean, that's what I do for a living every day, is help people reestablish connections with people that they care about, to reduce anger, to reduce fear, frustration. And we need to do that within ourselves, within our families, within the country.
Yes, Guillermo.
Within the world.
Let me throw one more thing out, and then we're going to roll. I said, yeah, to Guillermo. And this has just been great. I've been really enjoying it. I want to just kind of lay out how I said, yeah, we need a major defense because we're under attack. We are. Don't think we aren't. We are. But if we don't come together, a defense doesn't work. We need a united defense, learn from Ukraine and give Ukraine the missiles they need. But we need to learn from how they're doing their thing as they're moving forward to the new war. Now, I want to throw out something. I always forget to put this out there. And I want to put out my gripe of the week, if I may. My gripe of the week. Can I put out my gripe of the week? You ever sit at the light and you see a schmo in a car in front of you throw food out or throw paper out the window? Why are people doing this? Why can't you just keep it in your car, go to a trash can and throw it out? Why do people feel this need to just throw their junk everywhere? You want to do it in your house and look horrible, great. But what's the need to throw it out and pollute America and pollute the environment? That's easy. That's something you don't have to do. It doesn't cost anything. It's not being green. It's being smart. That's my gripe. What do you think?
I agree.
My other gripe is this.
You have to respect
Good.
each other, respect the world, respect the environment. That's what it's about.
It really is. Now, one more little thing we're going to throw at you because I want you to understand. Remember this. If you need to sleep, you always watch TV and they always have these sounds. They say you can get, what is it? Wet sound, cold sound, green sound, red sound. You always see those ads. There's no need for that if you ever have trouble sleeping. All you have to do is listen to a Pink Floyd song. Just put on a Pink Floyd album, okay? So if you ever...
Mark, this week I've been into
what?
Led Zeppelin.
Which Zeppelin? Later or earlier?
Stairway to Heaven, but the version I like the best is not even done by Led Zeppelin. It's done by Heart.
Yeah, they do, right.
Yeah, people, please, after this, go look up Heart, Stairway to Heaven. It's fantastic.
Nancy Wilson.
Fantastic.
Nancy.
That's my
I agree with them there. I agree with them because I loved Heart. Nancy Wilson and the Wilson sisters are incredible. And I just say right on. So yeah.
They performed it for the Kennedy Center Honors.
Yes, we do like Little Queenie. Did you like Little Queenie? tweet. I think it says Little Queenie.
Yeah.
So that's where we are. So Barracuda's good too. Barracuda.
Lark doing Stairway to Heaven, I'm telling you.
Dude, I saw them 3 times live. They came to Columbia 3 times. They were really good. Either way, that's where we are. We really appreciate you all watching. You are great. We get great comments. We love you all. What do you say? Don't we, Dr. V?
Love the discussion.
This is special. Please come on to Just American Citizen and give me a subscribe. Please go to Dr. V Joe Talks. Give me a subscribe. More thumbs up. We appreciate. We love your comments. We love you. We'll see you next Sunday. Something comes on, an emergency out there. You will see us. Thank you, Tweet. We love you. You're the greatest. We love all you guys. Thank you all. And that's the way it is, Dr. V.
Period.
Period. See you all later.